So thanks for joining us as we chat with Kevin Isaac, Sophos' new Senior Vice President of EMEA Sales. So Kevin, welcome to Sophos. We're delighted to have you on board. Now, I know lots of people are interested to learn a little bit more about you and obviously find out your thoughts on all things cybersecurity. So as is best practice for these things, I've pulled together a few questions. I hope that's okay.
Yeah, that's great. Thanks very much. And thanks for the opportunity. And really thanks to everyone for investing their time to be with us today. It's fantastic to see everyone here.
Brilliant. Now, we know you've had a very distinguished career in cybersecurity already. So what was it about Sophos that attracted you? What made you want to join us as the head of EMEA sales?
Well, I tell you, I've been watching Sophos for some time now. It's probably been about 8 years that I've actually been keeping an eye on your business and looking at how well you're doing. I'm really impressed, quite frankly, with the foundational work that's been done over the years. The building of the strategy and the building of the technology has been something really cool to watch, and particularly the way that you're going to market through your channel and making it available, quite frankly, the technology available for small business partners to be able to make a difference for customers all over the world. And that takes me to the vision of the company where you're trying as a business, or we're trying as a business to literally make security available to customers of any size. So that's not just for enterprises. And I know that we sell to a lot of enterprises, and I've spoken to a number of them already. But the fact that we can make our security available to small businesses, to doctors, to surgeries, to hospitals, for me is very compelling. And it creates a great opportunity for me to come in and actually be part of a mission as opposed to just another security company. At this time, with COVID and with the challenges we've got with this pandemic around the world, the fact that we're making a difference in small business and the fact that we're making a difference, to people's health, quite frankly, is really exciting. And I feel honored, quite frankly, to be here and to be a part of this team. So, when you look at that, you look at the history, you look at the technology, you look at the mission, and you look at the channel, I think it's a great place to be. And I couldn't be more excited to be here at this time.
Yeah, and we're really pleased you're on board to help us with that journey. I think, thinking about sort of how we set ourselves up, one of our key kind of pillars of strength is the synchronized security. And given how attacks are evolving, constantly evolving around the world, is synchronized security more important than ever, do you think?
I do think so. When we talk about security, we often talk about management, visibility, end-to-end security, being able to actually manage and see what we're doing. I do think that the synchronization or the synchronized security solution or offering that we provide gives us that. Oftentimes with very large organizations, they've got the funds to put security operations centers in and massive budgets for rooms of people to be able to analyze what's going on. With what we're doing, it's much more tangible that you can take your endpoint, you can take your firewall, you can start to synchronize what's going on and see a picture of your security profile and the attack surface and the challenges that you're facing in a much more simple way and a much more proactive way. So I do think there's a real opportunity here in terms of visibility and manageability. And the fact that you can do it no matter how large you are as a company, and you can apply lots of resources and get really technical or keep it really simple, I think is very compelling in terms of being able to provide that level of granularity and that level of risk management, even despite the size business you are.
Yeah, that kind of visibility at scale is key, isn't it, to
Yes.
how we grow that. I mean, what else would you say our customers should know about Sophos? What else would you share?
So I think Sophos is one of the best kept secrets in the industry, I think, and I think that, when I thought about Sophos before I did my research, I thought about endpoint security. It's much more than that. This ability to manage at scale at the endpoint, all the way up to hundreds of thousands of users in terms of some of the customers we're providing. The fact that we've got a great firewall, the fact that we've got great technology that'll even connect home users to our systems in a very, very secure way, and the fact that we manage in the cloud, workloads and the cloud security piece of this around cloud optics, managing workloads, securing them, looking at containers, looking at how we're managing that. All of this is really, number one, interesting for me in terms of the scale and size that we've got, and number two, the fact that we're being able to bring all that together. I think Sophos is definitely worth a second click if you're looking at us. And I certainly think that we're worth looking at for a much bigger play than just the endpoint. It's really quite exciting to see the evolution and the sophistication we've got to, given the markets that we make ourselves available to, and the way that we simplify security for them.
Yeah, and part of that support, I know it's relatively new in terms of our offerings, that rapid response service and how we kind of provide support there. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Well, I tell you, if you look at Gartner's Carter model, or you look at whatever security flavor we're looking at in terms of models, you look at protect, detect, respond, and recover, a virtuous cycle for security. It's no longer just being able to provide a product. And when you look at process and people and technology, they've all got to fit together. So the fact that we're now providing a rapid response service, I think, is just a great evolution for us. But not only that, it actually makes a difference for our customers. Now, if you look at our technology, we built EDR in some time ago, which is really very compelling for our customers initially. And if you're a little bit sophisticated and you want to use the EDR more in a more robust way, you can. It's got that depth of technology, and you can do a lot of that yourself. But if you don't have the resources to do that, the fact that we've released this new MTR, this Managed Threat Response Service, means that we can help you in a 24/7 framework to provide that security and that service and that rapid response for you at any point in time. So whether you're looking at using EDR yourself, or whether you need our MTR service to provide you with 24/7 capability, or you want the new rapid response that we're providing for customers who have an outage or have some challenge that they need immediate help with, I think this evolution that we're providing around that virtuous cycle really gives customers the ability to manage and flex with their needs and improve security and reduce risk. So I do think this rapid response is important. I think customers need to make sure that they're looking at that as well as just the tech, because what we're trying to do is actually improve a risk posture and not just provide a tick box for security.
Yeah, and we're bringing a kind of human back into the mix now at this point, aren't we? To actually give one central point of contact for our customers with an expert who knows how to kind of resolve and deal with these issues. And as we kind of evolve our own strategy, I mean, you've mentioned cloud already. I mean, you can't say a sentence without mentioning cloud, I think, now anyway. What is our cloud security strategy as a company?
So what's really interesting for me is the fact that you're right, that you can't talk about security without talking about the cloud. If you look at what's going on globally right now with the move to home, I think that's exacerbating it, or shall I say accelerating it. Gartner have got a framework that they call SASE, which has come out, this Secure Access Service Edge approach. Forrester talk about zero trust. But everything that we do now, you're right about the human, because the human is the center of the network now. It's no longer the data center or the network that's the center of everything. The bottom line is we and our endpoints and our information have become the center of everything, because everything else is outsourced. Whether you're going to Salesforce, or you're going to Microsoft, or you're going to LinkedIn, or you go to SAP, it doesn't matter where you're going to. Everything else is outsourced, and you have this plethora of cloud-based services that connect to you and your business. So how we actually interact with that and provide security for that becomes massively important. And the way we're providing our synchronized security in the cloud, the way that we're providing the ability to manage cloud workloads, and with our Cloud Optics product, to be able to help you secure those workloads and understand them, I think is an important evolution as part of that journey. The World Economic Forum talks about $100 trillion worth of value being unlocked through digital transformation. That's fantastic. But they also talk about the key issue being cybersecurity. So we've absolutely got to be able to match this digital transformation with the appropriate risk management of our cloud solutions, and how we as humans interact with that cloud solution and protect the endpoints and the data that we're working with.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and a large majority of the world are working from home currently, and I see us. Our model was already leaning that way anyway, and it feels like we were almost ahead of the curve when it comes to how we positioned ourselves and how we can provide protection to our customer base. In terms of questions, as Columbo would say, I've just got one more thing that I'd like to ask of you, actually, Kevin, and that's what do you see as the biggest security concern, kind of for EMEA, maybe the world, but what's your number one big concern?
Well, the funny thing for me is that whenever we talk about security, it always comes back to the user and the endpoint. We've had 20, 30 years of security solutions. And we've moved from people all the way through to the data center, and we're back to people now. We're back to the endpoint, and we're back to people working from home. And when we look at that, and we look at the security that we're dealing with, the biggest challenge I'm seeing customers facing right now from a real monetary risk perspective is ransomware. When you look at the number of companies and the number of accounts that are being challenged right now with ransomware, locking them out, creating all kinds of disruption, I think that's the biggest challenge. And definitely, for example, in healthcare, I think that's the number one challenge that they're facing. Remember that right now, through this pandemic, we've absolutely got to make sure that our critical national infrastructure and our healthcare infrastructure is maintained, is available, and we're providing the services and the help that we need to people who need it. This is really important. Healthcare and ransomware, as a result of that, becomes, I think, the biggest challenge and the biggest opportunity, quite frankly, we've got to deal with from a security perspective.
Yeah, no. And a fantastic insight from you, Kevin, for those. I think what we're doing, we seem to be doing the right things. Kevin, I'm so pleased that you've joined us, and so pleased you've spent the time to share some of that information with us. Thank you again, and we'll speak again shortly, no doubt.
I look forward to it. Thanks so much. Thanks, everybody.